Welcome back to Launch Your Light, a podcast that covers the soul and strategy of running a business and sharing your heart's work with the world. Guys, I am coming to you today with our 100th episode. How are we here? How did this happen? Like, holy crap. I can't wait to dive into what we talked about and what came up and who I had on and what were the themes and how magical and powerful this has been, especially as kind of like a side fun creative project. I didn't start this and do this so that I would be like, interviewing two people a week and making two episodes. Like I was like, this needs to be a place I can go more longer format where I can put that crazy Jamie Gray energy into something that is bigger than an Instagram post and Facebook and blah, blah, blah. I needed something where I could go deep, where I could go deep with other people, where I could share what I'm doing. And boy, have we done it. So this has been 100 episodes of launching our light, right? 100 episodes on this podcast, 100 times sitting down behind this microphone. And really, sometimes I don't even use a microphone. I just use my Zoom. Let's be real. 100 conversations and teachings and transmissions, interviews, stories, reflections, ideas, experiments, and moments from my own life and work that I felt called to share with you. And I really wanted to take this episode to celebrate that, not rush past it, not have a guest on, and not immediately ask, because I can do this all the time. Oh my God, what's next? Okay, what's next? Let's go, let's go, let's go. I needed this to just like celebrate these 100 episodes and all that I've accomplished with this and the power it's had. I've had thousands of downloads. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I think there is something really important about honoring what we create. And in my school, in my business school, and the work that I showcase and what I share, I always make my clients turn back around, look at where they are, turn back around and celebrate what they've done. If you don't do that, you will hit burnout faster. I can't say you won't hit burnout if you do that, but it does help you from not hitting burnout. But I always make my clients look back at the end of every season and the end of every year, right? So really looking back and being like, what can we celebrate? What have I done? What have I created? Who have I become? And how much have I grown? And I want to do this at this 100. All right. Especially for those of us that are creators. We are so quick to move on to the next thing, the next idea, the next offer, the next milestone, the next goal, the next thing our soul's asking us to bring into the world because there is always another thing, right? And if not, it's more frustrating to sit in the holy hallway of nothing than actually have something up our butt, up the pipeline, right? That wants to come through. But today, what I want us to do is just sit back and look at these episodes and see that this is an archive on my work, an archive on amazing women in these industries, so many different industries that I've interviewed. I think I had 35 or 37 interviews on here and 100 podcast episodes, which is awesome. Right. And look back and see an archive of the questions I've been asking and the things I've been studying, the things I've been living through, the people I've been meeting, the work I've been creating, and the conversations I believe we needed to have during this time on planet Earth. And holy shit, how we covered some ground. I kicked off this podcast in May of 2024, and it was the year I was coming out of my postpartum cave. I had two babies back to back. I got pregnant at like nine when my baby was 9 months old, and we had so they're 18 months apart. And I'm so glad we did it like that. It's like would never take that back. It was amazing. They're like Irish twins. It was like boom, boom, you know. Um, and but I was quite dedicated to that postpartum cave. I scaled back on my business so hardcore. I still can't believe it. And that's why I started writing my book. So I really believe the postpartum time, the pregnancy time, the postpartum time, even the pre-pregnancy time is really a powerful portal, but that's a whole nother episode I could do. Um, anyway, so in 2024, I really felt like I came back out. I not only came out with my business more, I started taking on more clients. I got hired as a coach with another coaching company out of California, and they were feeding me clients. And it was just a powerful time to come back on. I just turned my platforms back on and my audience back on. And in that moment, I was like, I really need somewhere where I can go longer, deeper, louder, be crazy Jamie for 40 minutes to 90 minutes if I need to. Share about this, share about that. And the podcasting, oh my God, it has always been something in my the back of my head that I knew I needed to do. And I knew I needed to do it when I had four different people ask me if I would co-host with them. A lot of people over the years had said, like, will you be a co-host with me? Could we do a podcast together? Because I'm just good at talking, storytelling, the verbal thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really good at that. And I did do one co-hosting of episode of podcasting, and I even have another two more that people have asked me since I've done mine. So I know I'm in the right place, but I also didn't want this to be another job. Like, I didn't need this to be another thing I had to do that I would burn out, and I did have a burnout story in here, and I'll tell you that later. Um, I just didn't need like another like, oh, you know what I mean? I needed it to be so much fun and so easy. So I'm so proud of myself. I hit 100 episodes just over 2 years. So it's almost like I was still getting out like 50 episodes in a year in these 2 years that I've been doing it, like, and I didn't try to do a weekly one, is what I'm saying. I had more, like, I do it in waves of, like, I won't post for a long time, and then I'll do it more often. The algorithms do not like that. I do not suggest you doing it. I'd be much better off if I just had one coming out every single freaking week. But here we are. This is what happened. And I'm about like 2,700 downloads. So that's pretty fucking great for someone who is just doing this as a fun side creative project that wasn't trying to give her too much stress. So let's look at what everything we've talked about. We have talked about soul purpose. Of course, we have. I'm the queen of soul purpose. I'm writing a book about soul purpose. I'll probably write a few books about soul purpose if I'm completely honest. You should see the freaking books that want to come out of me. We've talked about spiritual awakening. We've talked about what happens when you start waking up to the possibility that maybe you're here for something more. We talked about consciousness, intuition, manifestation, sovereignty and discernment, embodiment, energetic boundaries. We've talked about feminine energy and masculine energy on this podcast. We've talked about the unseen realm. We've talked about connecting with the spirit of our business, also what I'm known for. We've talked about human design and astrology. We've talked about the energetic seasons we're moving through individually and collectively. We've talked about what the hell is happening on planet Earth. We've talked about the massive shifts in consciousness so many of us can feel happening around us. And we've talked about how to remain grounded inside of all of it. We've talked about the incredible practices and practical things we need to do alongside all this mystical logistical stuff. And we've talked about business. We've talked about business a lot. We've talked about starting businesses, growing businesses, creating offers, creating courses. We have talked about the ideas that keep tapping us on the shoulder and actually do something with them. Again, the idea incubator, go get into my idea incubator if that is you and you need help with that. We have talked about marketing and sales and storytelling and copywriting and visibility. We've talked about building community, sustainable growth, seasonal strategy. We've talked about building businesses around our actual lives. We've talked about doing business differently, which I love to talk about. We've talked about creating work that doesn't require you to abandon yourself in order for it to succeed. We've talked about money, baby. We've talked about wealth. We've talked about receiving. We've talked about the energetic side of business and the strategic side of business. Again, what I love to talk about, what I'm known for. We've talked about how these two worlds do not have to be separate. Excuse me. Soul and strategy can sit at the same table. And yes, I'm sick a little bit. Not a little bit. I'm getting over like a 2.5 week virus of some sort. Don't know what it is. Got tested. They can't find out. I'm okay, but oh my God, hello, summer sickness. Goodness, I knew I needed to chill in August, but here I am. Here I am. I was too excited to not come on here, so excuse me if I cough. We've talked about writing books, which is a huge one for me. I've had my editor on here. Oh my God, please go listen to that episode. It was so good with Jesse. We talked about becoming an author. We talked about turning your lived experience into intellectual property. We've talked about turning your wisdom into something that can live beyond you. We've talked about making time to create meaningful work while simultaneously being a human being with a family and responsibilities and a life. How do we fit it all in? I don't know, but I'm going to keep talking about it. We've talked about motherhood and conscious parenting, mental health, teenagers, midlife, healing, holistic health, cranial sacral therapy, acupuncture, finance, accounting, mortgages, women's health, publishing, coaching, entrepreneurship, and leadership. Guys, those were all the guests I had on the show. Please go to this show, follow us, and scroll back. Save episodes that you want to. We are on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're everywhere. I'm on like 14 different platforms to listen to this show. Please, it's so good. Go listen to these amazing women. And I didn't interview any like wicked famous women. I interviewed everyday women. I interview everyday women with their everyday businesses, and it's brilliant. I'm going to keep doing it. I can't wait to see who I interview over the next year, going into year three of this. Like I'm in season three of this podcast, essentially, right? And I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. All right. We've talked about what it means to make an impact. And this is really like part three of my book is literally about that. Right. So that's a big thing for me. And what I got to do was talk about impact with all of the women that I interviewed on the show. We've talked about what it means to make an impact. One of my favorite parts of these 100 episodes has been getting to bring other people's light into the space and not having it just be about me. Being able to sit across from women doing incredible work in the world is one of the most phenomenal feelings ever. So I'm going to keep interviewing women. I've interviewed healers, coaches, therapists, and mental health professionals. I've interviewed women working with teenagers and family. I've interviewed financial professionals and accountants. I've interviewed women helping other women build wealth, body workers and holistic practitioners, authors and storytellers, spiritual teachers, entrepreneurs. I've interviewed women who have changed careers, followed callings, built businesses, reinvented themselves, healed parts of themselves, and figured out that their own unique way of serving the world was going to be the way that they make impact. And that matters to me. All these women matter to me. These interviews matter to me. These episodes matter to me. Please go have a gander and go get inspired. Please spend the next few weeks listening to just the women that I interviewed here. I cried in some of these episodes. I'm completely honest. We laughed. I gasped. We talked about so much random shit too. Oh, sorry, that's my phone. Look at me being so unprofessional right now. Yeah, I fucking love the women that I interviewed here, and I can't wait to see who's next. Because the show was never supposed to be only about my light, right? It's called Launch Your Light, and every single person who has sat down with me and shared what they know, what they live through, what they've learned, what they've created, and what they're here to do has become part of this body of work. So 100 episodes is what happens when you keep going. And I think that's one of the biggest things I want to celebrate today because one episode doesn't feel like much, one conversation doesn't feel like much, one idea doesn't feel like much, one Instagram post, one class, one page of your book, one client, one tiny step toward the thing you know you're supposed to create doesn't always feel like that much. And I am the queen of reminding you to keep going. And then one day you turn around and there are 100 episodes behind you. There are hundreds of hours of conversations and teachings living in the world because I decided to do something and keep going. There are people that have been introduced to one another. There are ideas that I've been able to put into circulation, and you have too, because you've shared the conversation, shared the story. Like these stories spread. One of my friends ended up getting the career of her life through one of the guests I interviewed. Go back to Haley's episode, from Bucket List, from Bartending to Bucket List is I think the name of hers. My one of my best friends, Ashley, she got laid off from her job. And she was working with me to see what potential does she have for either becoming a subcontractor or starting her own business and going digital product. And we talked about all those things. And then she listened to an episode from Haley, and she had one of those. It was absolutely a, soul purpose activation is what I call them. She listened to her. She was like, oh my God, I have to do this. And reached out to her, ended up getting hired by Haley's, the company she worked for. She was like a manager to a group of female travel agents, got in with the job, got the job, and is now traveling the world. She's been working with them for maybe 2 years now, traveling the world. She was just in Alaska going on a glacier cruise with her man, looking at orcas and whales and like getting on helicopters and like this is what I fucking mean when I talk impact and podcasting and sharing other women's stories and passing the mic. Like I built the stage and I passed the mic. Like I am so proud of my friend, and it's cool that it's my friend because I actually get to see hear the behind the scenes of all this. If it was some random woman, she would never write in and tell me. I wish you guys would write in and tell me the cool shit that's happening because you've, listened to a podcast episode, listened to a woman you interviewed by, had a session with me. I don't know, whatever. Like, let me know the stories. Are you kidding me? You can actually send me a voice memo. If you go to the bottom of this episode note, you can see it says send Jamie a message. you can send me a voice memo. I think you can write it in and audio record yourself to send me a message. So please, if you're hearing this, send me the message. I want to hear, how has this changed you? How has this helped you? Okay, let's keep going. There are people who found me and you, right, because of something you said in a microphone months or years ago, right? So maybe you yourself, listening to this has sparked something within you. And you got to remember, the stories you're telling and how you show up in your everyday life is really powerful. This is why I love to talk storytelling, but I really can't go into storytelling right now, but it is the most powerful thing you can ever do, to be completely honest. And I'm a very natural storyteller, if you haven't seen, heard, or realized. Okay, let's keep going. Listen, things that you said eventually found their way, right, into the friendships, into the connections, into what you're here to spread your light on, right? Your light is so important. And if you've ever seen that video, like there's a good video going around of like one golden person just like slightly tapping, seeing, walking through a wave of darkness, and it just lights up. I want you to think of yourself every day walking through the world like that. Whether you're in a grocery store, whether you're walking down the street, whether you're at a concert, whether you're at work, can the light that you have and that you're here to share influence people? All right. I want you to think of that. And I want you to think of the body of work you're building. What happens when you keep showing up for the thing you're here to talk about? What happens when you keep following your curiosity? What happens when you keep answering the call? What happens when you allow one creation to lead to the other? Because when I listen to some of these earlier episodes and I'm listening to an earlier version of myself, I have grown in these 100 episodes. Like, this has been an evolution of me. This podcast has literally documented my evolution. It has documented the evolution of my business, my spirituality, my ideas, the book, and in so many ways without me realizing it at the time. These 100 episodes have been helping me figure out what I actually believe, right? They've helped me figure out what I'm here to teach. And what I'm here to teach is find your light, share your gifts, change the world. This is the three-part system that the book will be based on, coming out fall 2026. I am still on track for it to come out fall of 2026. So fuck yeah. And there's something else that feels almost surreal looking back at these episodes now, right? Because the body of work we created here fits so beautifully into the framework I've now built my book around, right? These three things: find your light, share your gift, change the world. We've spent 100 episodes talking about finding your light, waking up, remembering who you are, understanding your energy, listening to your intuition, understanding your soul purpose, healing, becoming conscious, coming home to yourself. We've spent 100 episodes talking about sharing your gifts, following your ideas, creating things, writing, teaching, coaching, healing, starting businesses, creating offers, sharing stories, use your voice, right? Taking what's inside of you and giving it a physical form. If you want to learn more about that, please sign up for the Idea Incubator. It's a 9-step process. I take you from idea into reality, from dream to done. I teach you the manifestation current and the natural organic ways of bringing something to life on the planet. It is a phenomenal thing. I suggest doing it over the span of 9 weeks, maybe giving yourself a few break weeks and having it be a full 3 months. You can come into the school and sign up for that. You can start the school as simple as $97 a month and get access to 20 courses, 250 plus supporting videos and classes in there, and also me live on Fridays for hot seat Q&A. Hot seat coaching, Q&A, strategy and support calls on Friday. Oh my God, our absolute freaking favorite in the school. Um, and if you want to get from idea to reality, I really suggest you get a map. You get the pathway. You figure out how to do it. It can be done. I've done it hundreds of times. At this point, it's probably thousands of times I've did this, right? So that is one of my most favorite courses, one of my most popular courses. I really want all of my clients to go in there and do it. I'm always giving them that advice, or anyone new coming into the school, I tell them to go do it. You can also get private sessions with me on top of um, the on top of the Idea Incubator, the first level of joining the school. So let me reel myself back in because now I'm going off talking about Daydream. But really, seriously, I made it so accessible for people to come in and just do what they need to get soul to strategy support in their business and their earth mission and their soul purpose, what they're here to do. And for some people, it's, creating a business and becoming an entrepreneur. For some people, I've got a lot of clients in there right now who are shifting out of their full-time corporate careers and going subcontractor or opening up their own private practice. So it is for 9 to 5 women to entrepreneurs. It doesn't single them out. What I really hone in on and who I like to work for are the women who know they're meant for more. The women who know that they've been through a lot, they've achieved a lot, but somehow they don't still feel yet like they've accomplished everything, and they know and can feel this gap between what they maybe have a destiny for, what they have a purpose and mission for, and they're not doing it. So they've got this gap between them and what they see, what they know is who they came to be, but they have no one to talk to about it. They can't bring it up anywhere. They have no idea where to start. That's my jam. Those are my people. That's who I wrote the book for. The women who are meant for more. I don't care what you've done. You've done a lot. You know you've done a lot. You probably are living inside maybe the life that you strive so hard for, but yet you can't scratch the itch. That like you haven't fully embodied who you came here to be. I am here for you. Everything I do, everything I create is for you. So please come find me. Please come find me. All right, let me keep going. We've spent 100 episodes talking about changing the world. We've talked about impact and leadership and money and business and community service, parenting, healing, consciousness, creating something that makes life better for another human being, right? I didn't have these words. I didn't have this book. I didn't have this podcast when I started. But apparently, I've been talking about them the entire time, my whole life. And I teach you that in the Earth classroom. So please get ready to buy my book. Get so excited for my book. And I want to thank you all. I want to thank all my listeners who have come on here and listened in and out. I hear from people that I don't hear from people that are not in my school, and they go, "Oh my God, I love your podcast. I wait for your episodes." I'm like, "Wow, good. I need to hear this. LOL, I need to keep going." I want to thank all the guests that have come on. I want to thank all of the people who were part of this. I want to thank again, to my listeners. It's really you guys, right? Almost 3,000 listeners. Oh, wait, let me just pull up I forgot. I want to talk about the stats. Let me see the locations. Locations, baby. Ready for this stuff? Ready for this shit? Let's go. All episodes. Wait till we hear this. 93 countries. I've had people listen to this in 93 countries. I've had people listen in 549 cities. 550 freaking cities in 93 countries. People have listened to this podcast. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Let me go to all time for the listeners. Let me see. All time listening. Oh, wait. Hold on. Podcast overview, downloads. About 2,700 downloads, almost 3,000 in 2 years. Like, fuck yes. I am just so proud of myself. I am so proud of this podcast. I'm just so proud. And I really hope that you can get behind your own project, your own creation, your own purpose, and be able to sit here and record something like this, thanking your listeners, thanking your viewers, thank you to all the people and all the places who have come here and enjoyed this. So I have so much excitement for what's to come. I have so much excitement for the next 100. And that's a podcast, episode 50. LOL, talk about calling on the next 100, calling on the next 100, whatever. Next 100 clients, the next 100 podcasts, the next 100 pages, calling on the next 100. There's something really powerful there. And here I am, episode 100, saying, I made it to 100. And now let's call on the next 100. I'm calling on the coolest fucking guest. I'm calling on the most inspirational people. I'm calling on the people who really are looking for a stage and a platform to share their life, their creations, their joys, their light, their shadows, their pains, what they've gone through, their wounds. I am here to share it all. All right, so I want to thank you for those 100 and have this feel like a celebration. And I want to give you a gift, not a PDF, not another thing to download and forget, not another workbook sitting somewhere on your computer. I want to give you me. I want to give you a conversation. I want to give you a celebration. I want to give you a session. So in celebration of the 100th episode of Launch Your Light, I am gifting you a complimentary coaching session with me. I charge 250 an hour for sessions with people that I've never met. My clients too, but they are already in my world and they can just re-up with the packages I send to them. But for complete strangers off the street, it is 250 an hour to speak with me. For anyone who's made it to this far in the episode, I am gifting you a complimentary session with me. If you've been listening to the show and we've never actually talked before, this is especially for you. Maybe you listened to me for months, maybe you've listened for years, maybe you've heard me talk about soul purpose and your ideas and businesses and your gifts and your book and your calling and the things you can't stop thinking about. There's something in your own life that you know it's time to move. Come talk to me. Let's sit down together. Bring me the thing you're working through. Bring me the ideas, bring me the business, bring me the block, bring me the dream. Bring me the thing your soul keeps nudging you towards. Bring me the thing you cannot figure out by yourself. This is my jam. This is my obsession. This is what I love helping people do. Let's spend a session together figuring out where you are, what you're being called toward, and what your next move might be. And if you've already worked with me before, you're not excluded. Come back, come have another session with me. You're most likely on an email list where you see a re-up session with me. So go dig one of those out of your inbox. Consider this my thank you for being part of this community and part of the first 100 episodes. So I'm going to put the information for booking a free, I'm literally putting my coaching link in here. Like the link I give my private clients who are paying hundreds of dollars a month to have access to me and access to my school. I am going to give you this link. You can't find this link on the internet besides here, okay? So I'm going to put it in the bottom of this in the notes section of this episode, okay? I specifically want to also help people. I'm just going to say it because I'm here who want to run their own podcast, who want to launch their own podcast. I love it. I've been doing it for years now. I have thousands of listens, downloads, and I have hundreds of episodes now. So, and on part-time, side gig on the side, fun, creative job for me. Like I didn't make this, some people literally they record like 5 episodes a week. I didn't do that. I didn't do that, right? This also helped grow my platform. This also helped me get clients. So I'm here to help you get something like this off the bat. And I did it for less than $30 a month. I'll let you know that right now, but I'm not telling you any of that more on here. Book the session with me. All right. So here's to the next 100. I have no idea what I'll be talking about when we reach 200. At that point, I know I'll be a published author. And actually, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what the next 100. All I know is it's going to be fucking badass. I'm so excited because that's part of the magic of creating a body of work. You don't need to know where every piece is leading. You need to make the next one and the next one and the next one. You need to follow your curiosity, follow the conversation, follow the idea, follow the thing that won't leave you alone, follow the light, and one day turn around. You might be amazed by what you've built. So thank you. Thank you to every person who has listened to one episode. Thank you to the people who have listened to dozens. Thank you to every guest who trusted me with their story and their work. Thank you to everyone who has shared an episode with a friend. Thank you to everyone who has messaged me after listening. Thank you to everyone who has taken something they heard and actually done something with it. Please also let me know what you did with it. I'm so curious. I'm excited. And thank you to every version of me who sat down behind this microphone and hit record even when I didn't know exactly where any of this was going. 100 episodes, what a fucking gift. Here's to the conversations we've had. Here's to everything we've created because of them. Here's to the next 100. Keep finding your light, keep sharing your gifts, and keep changing the world. I will see you in episode 101. Until then, much love.